What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel known as Azure. As always, I am your host, Daniel, and today I'm joined by my co-host,
Julian.
And today we're going to be talking about the tetralogy that is the Cantonese film series of Ip Man. If you guys don't know what it is, and basically the whole series is about Bruce Lee's teacher, which is ironically the whole tagline of the whole series for Americans, because no one really cared about Ip Man until they learned, oh, he's Bruce Lee's teacher. But yeah, quick rundown of all four movies. 1, 2, 3, and 4. First one came out, I think, in 2006, was it? Yeah?
No, I think it was 8 and it was every 3 to 4 years, right?
No, you can check it out real quick right now.
Yeah.
Either way, while he's doing that, I'm going to tell you a quick rundown of the story. Ip Man is basically a famous martial artist that practiced Wing Chun, which is a Chinese self-defense method that uses a person's attack momentum and attacks against him, essentially. So basically, you're not really fighting. You're more diverting punches and everything, but you still get some hits in. And it's all about speed, too. So, yeah.
I'm going to do them in reverse order, the movie.
Yeah,
so
go for it.
4, 2019.
Yep.
3, 2015.
All right.
2, 2010. And 1, 2008.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm thinking about the Chinese release dates. That's why. Chinese came out in 2006. Everything else came out the same thing except for 3, which was actually 2015 in China, but 2016 in US. That's why.
Is it?
Yeah. Because that's what it said on the iTunes thing that we were watching it on. And this came out in 2016. Either way, so Ip Man, basically, he's a Wing Chun master at this point in his early 20s in the first movie. And he lives in the city of Foshan, which is in...
No, Beijing was 2008 for Ip Man 1.
Why am I thinking of 2006 then? Either way.
I don't know. Let's get on to the...
Either way, Foshan, which is a it's a small town in China, close to Hong Kong, and yeah. So essentially, he's there. He lives in the life of luxury because he's a Wing Chun master, and over there, being a master in something gives you a lot of perks. So yeah, long story short, World War II happens. He's kicked out of his own home, goes into poverty, becomes basically almost homeless, and he gets his first actual job shoveling coal for the Japanese army. And this recruiter, who used to be the captain of the Chinese police force, comes in and says, "Oh yeah, the general of the Japanese army wants to see how can Chinese people fight." So he hosts like little tournaments where rice is given to the winner, because in Asian cultures rice is important. It's an important source of food for people. I never understood why, but I was like, do you know why?
Well, there's a lot of... I mean, I'm not fully, Asian. I'm not Asian myself, so This is more from what I've heard. There's a lot of cultural significance of it. A lot of things are used with rice when it comes to many parts of their life, which is why it has such a deep meaning, as they're used in things like festivals or other such things.
Yeah.
This would have to be its own video if we wanted to get a deep, like, importance of rice in Asian media. Or
on the next channel Azure episode, let's talk about rice.
That'd be... But food, certain food items always have importance for...
different cultures, different countries. And I just never understood why rice for China and other Asian cultures. But anyways, so yeah, the winner of the battles get a bag of rice, which is important because right now China's kind of starving because Japanese took over, which always impressed me because Japan's tiny compared to China, and they took over China. But either way, so Ip Man goes in, he sees one of his fellow masters get murdered. But it's not really like a fellow master, it's like a friend, colleague, whatever you want to call it, but he's also a master of Chinese Kung Fu. I don't know which style though, they never really dived into that. But they see him, he got shot because he lost to a 3v1 person, even though he won the first battle. But was it a sergeant or lieutenant that killed him?
The Japanese.
Yeah.
The sergeant.
I think it was a sergeant. Yeah.
Was it 1 and 4? It's sergeant and 4, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about
So I think 1 is lieutenant, right?
Okay, yeah. So either way, his name was Sato. Either way.
Yeah, Sato. So Sato beats
Sato. No, the general's name was Miura. Sato was the second in command. He shot the master in the head. Yeah. And General Miura was like, "Why did you do that? This is only a place for tournaments. You can't fire arms in here." Which is something I respected. You don't really do that, because even though he lost to a 3v1, he won the first fight, which gives him the right to take the rice in the first place, but not to Sato apparently. So Ip Man gets pissed, as you normally would, seeing a fellow master die, and he challenges 10 people at once, which is something you normally wouldn't want to see, because 10v1 automatic loss. But this man is such a badass that he takes him on and does not get hit once. You saw it. You saw the fight, man. Come on, explain the fight better.
Well, honestly, with martial arts masters, just any field, is that they don't know the technique, so it's like 10v1. Yeah, but if you can dodge all the attacks, if you don't get hit,
but
you're
again,
not
but
going to.
Again, I didn't
it
say
shows
this,
his mastery.
Yeah,
I'll
it shows
agree
that, but I didn't say this before. Like all these people are black belts in karate. Like you don't expect them to know what they're doing. Like
Definitely.
So, like a step below mastery. So yeah, you expect him to at least get hit once, but no. He legit has no hits whatsoever.
It's kind of, I guess the difference is you can treat black belts and all that as more like a national level, whereas at least in this story, I don't know in real life, but in this story, he's supposed to be more like a world class level. So it's kind of like that is a national level, say boxer or MMA fighter versus an international. Yeah. Even though they should be really strong, it's just that power level difference gives you that big discernible level. Not
to mention he's also in his like mid-20s or something like that. So he's basically in his prime. The only thing he's missing is some nourishment because it's World War II.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's World War II. Because if anything, this is where his prime is. Like he's at peak physical level, peak skill level. The only thing is just a little hungry. But yeah, after he shows the general that he can fight 10 people, the general wants him to come back and teach the Japanese soldiers Chinese martial arts. He refuses like always, and then instead of like killing him, he says, "Okay, let's have a little fight then to show who's better, who's not." And as always, it takes place in front of the citizens of Foshan, and they're all like, "Oh my God, Ip Man's gonna win! Ip Man's gonna win!" And then general and Sato comes in and tells Ip Man that says, "If you win, I'm going to kill you in front of everyone." But he doesn't know that because Sato speaks Japanese and Ip Man speaks Cantonese. So this is always a weird thing. Like that's what it is. I mean, the captain of the police force was there to translate, but he doesn't really care. And he says like, "Oh, Ip Man says you Japanese people will never learn that martial arts isn't just for violence. It's a Confucius state meant to bring balance to people and yourself." Which is like it is like martial arts isn't for fighting. It's exercise for you, but it's also to center yourself in a way. And then the movie happens where Ip Man fights General Miura. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. I've been saying Miura for the whole video so far. So
it might be
like Muria and all that. Like I'm gonna stick to Muria.
I think it's the way you're saying the M and I, but I mean
Miura.
There's much worse pronunciations.
I'm sticking to Miura just because I've seen the so many times. At first, Miura gets a few hits in, like even drawing blood from Ip Man, but after a while, his Wing Chun kicks in, like to the next level where you see him like going all like basically he's treating the general as his wooden dummy that he practices on. Like
it's not even a fight, which kind of makes him not as interesting as the other three guys because it is just Ip Man completely
like destroying him,
demolishing Miura. It's one of those.
Miura.
Yeah, one of them. But I mean, it's still fun to see. It's just definitely like, oh, that's it. That was
and when the climactic fight, the score picks up and everything, you get a sense of like rush in your like, oh my God, he's actually doing this.
It almost doesn't feel like he's an underdog because he just completely demolishes the guy.
Exactly, but I mean,
it's like Commando, where Arnold Schwarzenegger just kills like 50,000 people without a speck of dust on him. It's like, well, I mean, it's just cool, but there's no real tension to the scene.
I mean, they're both masters in their own right, but still, like
until he gets shot by the guy. But that's just
Sato.
the movie.
He gets shot by Sato, like everything's like there. But anyway, that kicks off Ip Man 1. On to 2. Ip Man 2 takes place like 4 years after Ip Man 1. Him and his wife and child moved to Hong Kong to start a new life. They're still like lower class citizens, and Ip Man decides to open a school because in the first movie he never wanted to open a school because he never thought himself as like a teaching type. But in this case, oh my God, I need money and to pay rent and everything. So he decides to teach Wing Chun. So he goes to the top of his apartment building where he sets up a little studio, and like the first guy that comes in says, "Oh, Wing Chun's nothing. I could beat you right now." And Ip Man goes like, "Well, if you want to try it, like if I win, you have to pay for lessons. If you win, you can leave whatever you want." Long story short, kid gets his ass kicked and brings in 3 more guys to help him kick Ip Man's ass. They lose too, and they become his first 5 students, like officially, because back in Ip Man 1, he did teach a factory to fight, but that wasn't really important. So yeah, another thing is though, like all the masters in Hong Kong, they abide by this whole like paying your dues and everything, where you pay like a monthly fee of $100. So that way, I don't know why they never really explain why you pay $100.
One thing is, I don't think Ip Man the series really explains a lot of things because like that's the thing you said in 1 is like, oh, it doesn't really come back in 2, but the whole him getting shot. There's no lingering effects on him.
There's no like shoulder pain or anything like that. Like, it just mainly focuses on like, oh,
Not
this
even a
happens
reference.
next. Yeah.
Not even it's a good thing we got everything completely fine, so you didn't get fully injured. It just gets ignored.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So long story short, Ip Man says he doesn't want to pay him, but before that, there's actually an amazing fight scene that happens again. This whole series is full of amazing fight scenes, like the cinematography, the score, the shots for shot takes. It's all A1.
Definitely 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Yes, were probably the best ones, but still. And probably the best fight aside from the main fight in 2 was a fight between one of the Tiger style fighting and Wing Chun, where they're on a table surrounded by stools, which is usually surrounded by knives, and they have to fight until the incense burns, because that's also like a rite of passage for masters to fight against. I guess in Chinese culture, where they have to fight where as long as the incense burns, was not really like meant to show who's better, just to see how well you know your art form. But yeah,
that one, and then any Twister fight is also just the
the Twister fights too. I forget what, I think it's Master Hung. That's the Tiger fight, the Tiger style fight master.
I think so.
Yeah, Master Hung.
It's just funny to see this movie after watching like Hajime no Ippo, where there's just the whole, if anyone's watched or read it, there's the whole Takamura versus Brian Hawk, where Twister reminds me a lot of Brian Hawk, where he's like, oh, these like Asian like people, they don't know nothing to our Western style of fighting. These guys suck, you know. You need to have me be fighting to like be anywhere close. To, like, you need to have my kids, right, to like have your people have any sense of fighting skills. And then Ip Man in this, and Takamura and Ippo had to go in and kick their ass to give like a country's pride kind of deal. Yeah.
I digress. Speaking of Twister, like when we first see him, he's like this arrogant like British boxer thing. He's like a heavyweight boxer, kind of like the British version of Muhammad Ali, if you want to say it like that.
Was he was world, right?
He was world. He's world. Yeah, he claimed to be the best in the world, even though I don't think he fought anyone in America yet at that time. Yeah, they never said that. So in a sense, like he and Master Hung fight because during their martial arts demonstration, Master Twister like almost like beats the person to death. Like he knocks him out with concussion and everything. And so Master Hung wants to say like, oh no, he disrespected Chinese martial arts, he must be taught a lesson. And the thing is though, like Master Hung like holds his own, but the thing is though, he's sick, but we don't know from what. But it's China, people get sick often there at that given time, because it's still after the war and everything.
And he's old, so it could just be natural stuff like cancer.
Yeah, well, not cancer, not that. Yeah. Just natural causes and everything. But
smoking too. Yeah, it could be lung. Yeah. It could be lung, actually.
It could be a lung respiratory illness thing, but not really cancer. But
because that's what Ip Man gets in for.
Oh, that's also okay.
Well, we're just talking about the whole series.
I know, but I'm going movie for movie right now. That's why.
Yeah, because that could be a possibility as a connection, right? That a lot of these masters get worse with the whole. Good thing with Twister is I do think that's the best beatdown in a fight, other than maybe in 4, is just when you see the punch of
like there's more like you tell like in 1 they're like testing the waters, like okay, how well can we make this fight scene last, but in 2 they're basically going all out, like oh my god, yeah, this is just raw power. You can see every shot hit, and the sound design for the shots is all, for every hit is just amazing too. They really stepped up the level on like the just sheer brutality of the fight scenes in this one.
It does feel weird though, because a lot of times the boxers almost feel like they got more attention to detail than the Wing Chun, because a lot of the best scenes are just with
the Twister, yeah.
And in 3 later, when we get more to detail, the boxer in that.
Oh, well, okay. And then the last fight scene in 2 is more of an underdog thing, because they take away his kicking. Twister has more of like body definition to him, because as you know, like a big guy against a little Chinese guy, you expect the big guy to win.
Did they say what the height of
I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty. Donnie Chen is 5'8", so I know that.
That's pretty tall. Yeah. How much was Twister again?
Twister was probably like 6 foot.
I mean, that's a difference, but that's not that big of a difference.
It technically is, because you also need to consider weight class too.
Yeah, it's the weight's the big one.
Yeah, the weight class, because he's technically a heavyweight boxer. They don't really say it, but you could tell he's a heavyweight boxer just because of how much muscle mass he has.
Also, that's usually what the best boxers are. Yeah. Usually the
heavyweight
200-something pound ones.
So yeah, you'd expect Twister to be able to hold his own, but you wouldn't think that he'd be able to beat Ip Man like how he did in the fight. But yeah, another thing is like what they showed that Ip Man has adaptability into, because he didn't just win using Wing Chun. He used Tiger style too by just watching Master Hung from his fight with Twister.
Yeah, it shows that he is a true master.
Yeah, it shows that he's able to adapt and use his form and other forms too. Either way, so yeah, he wins that. He gets a second son because his wife is pregnant throughout the second movie too. Didn't really ever get on that much, because the movie doesn't really get on that much either. Just like here and there. Like, all right, on to 3. Ip Man 3 takes place another 4-year gap between like that. He's like in his 40s or something like that. So Ip Man becomes like a good enough teacher to where he has multiple students and that he has enough money to be middle class now. And he lives more in Hong Kong, like in the more
Wait, we forgot something in 2.
Which one?
Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah,
that's when they first like talk about.
That's when
Ip
Man didn't really talk about Bruce Lee except for like the after credits where they stated Ip Man trained Bruce Lee. But in 2 they actually show Bruce Lee as a little kid, and like his name was Sui Long. Like you said, like
I'm pretty sure that's his like Chinese.
Yeah, his Chinese name is Sui Long, but you know the subtitles say Bruce Lee, and like Ip Man says come back when you're older, and that's where Ip Man 3 kicks off. Like Bruce Lee comes back, he's older. He challenges like Ip Man to not a fight, but like a demonstration of what he could do. And like he flicks cigarettes at Bruce Lee just to kick him out of the way, and throws a cup of water at him too.
Yeah.
But there's always that fear, like, oh my god, you just ruined your pants, man.
Yeah.
Was it really worth it? You ruined your pants just for a kick.
Yeah, Ip Man 3 is definitely where I can see where like some of the critics could say that it gets a little like weaker, not in the fights but in the story. As a lot of it is kind of like, did that really happen in real life? Just everything with his wife is a bit.
Well, his wife did die of cancer.
Yeah, but I mean more so like he spent all the time. They don't really talk about his mistress and the 3 other kids.
Because the Ip Man series really like delves into like the positive side of Ip Man. Like if you go like a little bit deeper into Ip Man, you know that his wife was in Foshan throughout most of Ip Man 3's time period instead of with him at his side, and he actually had a mistress where he had some illegitimate kids and everything. But no, I get it. Like you want to paint him to be this like really good guy and everything, like which he is for most of his life.
4 doesn't exist at all. That's another thing.
Well, 4 does exist, but like his parts.
Like wait, so some parts of that is actually true.
Yeah, some parts of 4 are actually true. But so back to 3, like it takes place back in Hong Kong, like, and this new guy, like, Chung Chi, that's what his name is.
The other master of Wing Chun.
He's another Wing Chun master, except like, well, Ip Man studied like fist and pole. He studies sword and kicks. That's what it is. But yeah, so they get at it like saying it was like kind of a bitter rivalry, but Ip Man's just like whatever. While Chung Chi's like, oh man, I want to fight you because I want to prove I'm the best, and your Wing Chun's flawed because you adapt other forms of martial arts in it. It's like,
well, part of it too is that he says, "Oh, I'm more like insular. I keep the traditionalism in China. Yeah. You have Bruce Lee, who's like making a mockery."
Well, that's it. That's in 4 too. That's why.
Yeah, but it's also in 3 where he talks kind of like about.
Chung Chi talks about how Ip Man makes a mockery of it, not Bruce Lee, because at this point Bruce Lee wasn't his student yet.
But he's saying like how there's more. Didn't he say something about like he kind of spreads the like?
No, he makes it so like he incorporates other martial arts forms into his own. That's what it is.
Okay. So there's 2 then. I guess 3 is that, and 4 is international.
Yeah, that's why. So they go at it, which is probably the best technical fight you can see. Like just in terms of pure skill, it doesn't really matter like who's more powerful or not. Just like who knows Wing Chun better. And like this fight is probably one of the best fights in the series in my opinion, because I don't really care about flashiness. I just care like, oh my god, these people are almost on par. You really think Chung Chi could win this fight if you actually wanted to? Because remember this point, there is a gauge gap. Like Chung Chi's in his prime right now, and Ip Man is technically in his 40s at this point.
Was he 40 or 50?
In his 40s, like, that's what it is. Like this thing also plays fast and loose with his age too. Like you'd expect him to go like, oh yeah, 20s Ip Man 1, 30s Ip Man 2, 40s Ip Man 3, 50s Ip Man 4. But no, if you actually want to do the math, technically in Ip Man 4, he's 71. He should be in his 70s in Ip Man 4 because of the time period.
Yeah, that's...
So yeah. But yeah, that's what happens in Ip Man 3. He wins the fight against Chung Chi. He becomes a grandmaster, and he finally takes on Bruce Lee as actual student.
Yeah, Ip Man 3 does have my favorite... I guess it's considered a minor fight, not a major fight, but the whole thing with Mike Tyson's here, I don't know the actual guy's name, but
yeah, they don't really. He's just mainly like a businessman, essentially.
Yeah, but that whole fight is like the actual full-on technical side and choreography. As you know, he is a boxer. He's one of the best boxers of all time. So just the full-on taking on, seeing his techniques, seeing his styles. He does like the full peekaboo, and like you see it. And you see the shots very well choreographed, and the whole
demonstration of power Mike Tyson has compared to Ip Man.
Like one punch
sent him flying across.
Boom, the halfway across the room.
Yeah, where Ip Man 2 went for flashiness, Ip Man 3 went for technicality. That's what it is. So yeah. Anyways, Ip Man 4 kicks off again 4 years after, but then again it takes place in 1964, where Ip Man should technically be in his 70s right now. He's 71, but instead of taking place in Hong Kong, this one takes place mostly in America, which I guess would make sense because at the time of Ip Man 4, like shooting, the whole Hong Kong issue was happening, so they didn't want to really make it into
or at least
in
like
Hong
the
Kong.
release of the
Yeah.
movie.
So they didn't really make it into like a Hong Kong setting. But either way, the story is more weaker in the sense that he wants to take his second son out of Hong Kong and into an American school, which is essentially not really what happened in real life. It's so much so that Bruce Lee did invite him to a tournament there, and Ip Man went to see that. But that's basically where the whole thing cuts off. Like,
yeah, Bruce Lee doesn't take on like that karate master in the back alley of the streets.
There's no karate master in the back alley of the streets. There's no, oh my god, Ip Man fights against the U.S. Marine Corps or anything like that.
I did like the Bruce Lee actor though. He did.
Yeah, I think it's the same one. I think it's the same one from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. He does seem like he knows what he's doing with that role.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, like it's also like some sort of racial thing, racial aspects that Ip Man 4.
All four of the movies have that.
Well, I mean,
you mean the central plot?
Yeah, it's more central to the plot in Ip Man 4.
Because like in Ip Man 1, it's like,
it's Chinese versus Japanese.
I hate World War II Japan because of what they did. Then it's I hate the UK because of what they did to Hong Kong. Then
and
it's
then again UK is just just takes a backseat to more like China and Chinamen like that.
Well, too, it's I think that's during the occupation where I think UK still owned Hong Kong at that time, or they still had like that.
No, it's just starting
lingering.
out. It's just starting out. Or in Ip Man 3 is more like, oh yeah, they occupied Hong Kong and it's prime now. Like they get along with the Chinese, but it's just occupying everything. But it's more of a Chinese on Chinese person in Ip Man 3, whereas Ip Man 4, it's American on Chinese because they didn't shit out America yet.
And it's during like the Cold War time, so it's like
it's kind of like,
see, we beat them.
It's not peak Cold War, but it's also not lesser no more. It's kind of like in the middle between the peak and it's a rising tension in the Cold War.
Yeah, it's almost like Ip Man saved the country. They beat all our rivals at the peak of when we were hating them, kind of thing.
So Ip Man 4, the final fight is with gunnery sergeant of the U.S. Marine Corps, who's actually played by Deadpool's stunt double in X-Men Origins Wolverine. I forget his name though.
Yeah, I guess you definitely can see how he can fight.
Yeah.
And I actually think the best fight in that is not the final fight, but the pre-fight where he faces the other...
Yeah, with the Tai Chi master. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Tai Chi with that, because you could see just like when he did the axe kick on the guy, you especially could feel that like, that guy would die.
Oh yeah, especially because it's fucking military approved combat boots. That's why those things are heavy as hell.
That's another one. So if he got it right through the throat, was it the throat or the face?
No, it was going for his face.
Yeah. If he was hit in the face, it'd be like,
oh yeah, you're done.
Mush putty.
Yeah,
mashed potatoes.
That's it. You're done. Also, it also shows that like Tai Chi is actually good combat. I never really saw Tai Chi as that much, mainly because I've always seen like as slow movements meant for like, this is just center your chi, but no, like they actually make Tai Chi like if you actually do it fast enough and like you actually know what you're doing. Yeah, it's a good form of martial arts.
It at least looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, but because with the end, you could definitely see with the actor aging himself that like, okay, we can't do certain things because we don't want the actor to break.
Yeah.
So some of the shots were a bit obscured if it showed that he had damage, and some other stuff where with the other actor, since he's like younger, obviously they can actually show more of the hits and things. And
another thing is too, like one thing I found weird was that they show like in both fights between Ip Man and the Tai Chi master and Ip Man and the gunnery sergeant is that when he was fighting the Tai Chi master and he moved his like left arm because he got hurt earlier in the movie, the Tai Chi master put his left arm behind his back to make an equal fight. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, yeah, he's more fair fight. But when it goes to the gunnery sergeant, he sees that also, but he doesn't do anything to it. Like, it's just there. Like, he doesn't hit it, he doesn't attack it, he doesn't go for his left side. It's like, okay, like he knows martial arts, you know he's hurt, but you don't go for his weak point. It's kind of odd. Like, yeah, it's kind of like just a forgotten detail. This Ip Man's 4 has a lot of forgotten details.
There's a weird aspect of the sergeant where like he's very racist, obviously, but then he's also like not racist.
Yeah,
and has certain things where he has a lot of respect. But they don't really show what side. Like, they don't really tell you how bad he is as a villain. Because there are some of these things where you're like, well, he's not like completely trying to go for this weakness, and it's not like he's calling anyone like really bad epitaphs of like name calling.
I think it has something to do with like, how this film was meant to appeal to American audiences. That's why, like, that we could talk shit about American, but we can't talk that much shit about Americans because we still want them to watch the movie.
And there's some levels of bad self-awareness where it's like, can China really talk about these kinds of statements when their own country can have.
Mm-hmm.
You could put that on them too. It gives a small level of like, come on. Like there's this emotional moment, and I get that Ip Man isn't like the rest of his country, but he's kind of speaking for them in the movie, especially in this movie.
Yeah.
He's like a proxy for them. That it kind of shows some level of wanting to glorify, which again makes it feel like a fan film even more than the first three.
Yeah, that's true.
They did it afterwards, not really part of the trilogy, because it definitely feels different from the first three movies, or even the prequel ones.
Oh yeah, there is one prequel one called The Legend of Warren is Ip Man, but we didn't really want to talk about that one because it's not really meant to be part of the trilogy. It's just like on a side note. It's like still a good movie though. It's better than Ip Man. The other Ip Man finale, like Ip Man: The Final Battle, which is completely fictional because in that one his wife is still alive. And
Did you like Final Battle?
I never watched the whole thing. That's why I was so out of it that I didn't want to watch the whole thing at all. I legit barely made it past the first scene. That's
so you didn't even see the fights?
No, that's it. I didn't want to see the fight because they got a different actor too. Like that's why they didn't get Donnie Yen.
Maybe Donnie Yen just said no.
That too, because I mean, in the Legend is Born Ip Man, they didn't get Donnie Yen either, but they got someone that looked like Donnie Yen.
Well, Donnie Yen was too old, obviously.
Yeah, well, I mean, still. I mean, it takes place between it released, I think, between 1 and 2. That's why. So
yeah, but Donnie Yen then was like what 40 something.
It was 2008, and it's about 12 years now. He's 56. He'd be 40. Be 44.
Yeah. So could he? How old is he in the prequel again?
In the prequel, he's about 18 or something like that.
Yeah, 18 to 44 is not as convincing as like
I know, but I mean,
20s.
they still got someone that looked like Donnie Yen,
yeah,
so that's fine. And plus, he did play him well enough to be.
So, what's your rankings of the Ip Man? Do you want to talk more about 4 of the other films, or are you good with?
No, I'm pretty sure you mentioned all of you wanted 4. I got a 4 out of my system also. Yeah, not really much I want to say about these movies. Like the acting's good for what it is. The fight design goes always a step up to the next movie, except for maybe 4. So yeah. So in terms of ranking, in terms of fighting ranking, I go 2, 1. No, fighting. My bad. Fighting ranking goes 3, 2, 1, and 4. Just because like the whole technicality of my preference of technicality over it. And in terms of story, like emotional story, I'd go 2, 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And then you?
For fighting, it's 2, 3, 4, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with 1, it's just any of the really good fight scenes in 1 are done better in the other films.
Oh, yeah.
And then story-wise, it would be 2, 1, 3, 4.
So basically my thing too, yeah.
Well, okay, I guess 1 and 3... One thing I'll say is 1 and 3 are pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
1 and 3 do play a little fast and loose with it. Same thing, all of them play fast and loose, but like it's more noticeable in 1 and 3.
Also, since 3 has that whole like wife thing,
right, cancer
not being
thing too.
Fully accurate, it kind of gives more.
Yeah, kind of gives more of that. But yeah, anyways, that's what we thought of the Ip Man tetralogy. You want to say like, or Ip Man trilogy plus one more, plus a fan film. That's what you want to call it.
We talked about the prequel, so it's like 5.
That's true, but we didn't really dive into the prequels because it didn't really matter as much to the overall story.
The prequel did have good fight scenes, though.
Have you seen the prequel?
Oh, the good one, right? Not the final.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
Oh, you actually watched it?
Yeah, I've watched the Ip Man films, just not 4.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you... when I mentioned it when we were watching it, you sounded like you didn't watch the prequel one, that's why.
Yeah. Well, I forgot that they didn't talk about the 5 kids either. Because I'm mixing what happened in real life with the movies, since it's been like since 2016 since the third one came out.
Yeah.
So like it was 4 years since I've watched the movies.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, yeah. Anyway, we digress. That's our thoughts about the Ip Man tetralogy or trilogy plus a fan film. Let us know what you guys want. You know where to drop all your suggestions and everything. So yeah, that'll do it. Bye, guys.
Bye.